Hey guys, welcome to your monthly reading. For this one, we're going to be taking a look at the month of April 2023. But you guys know how it goes. These readings are ultimately timeless and signless, so you don't have to have any specific placements in your natal chart that are significant, and you don't have to be watching this video when it's published. If it finds its way to you, then enough of your energy field has enough of this energy to be a vibrational match and to call it into your reality. So if some things resonate, then hey, chances are it's for you. And if it doesn't, I would just back pocket it and revisit it later. Speaking of revisiting later, please do make sure, if you want to, of course, to check this reading again around mid-April to see how things are unfolding for you. And of course, as you know, when you watch these videos at a later time, they tend to reveal different things to you. Also, if you'd like to work with me on a more personal level, you know exactly where to find me. You can find me on my business page for Etsy. And if you're just interested in finding out some more of what we offer, feel free to check out any of our free content on any of the platforms that you see listed on this page. So let's jump in. I haven't even had a chance to lay the cards yet, guides. Guides. I always call you guys guides, which makes sense. You guys know because you are guides. But let's just jump in. So I asked about the themes for the month of April, and I just literally finished doing the Moon in Libra reading, the transit Moon in Libra reading, and taking a look at the collective energies that are going on as this moon transits the sign of Libra. And it's actually still uploading, and thanks to YouTube, it's gonna take like 3 hours. It's just how it goes. I don't know why. Anyway, but pretty significantly in that reading, we had the Tower in reversed as well. So it looks like, the same message is coming through as it was coming through right now. And that reading is coming through here for the month of April. And the message is that you are protected. As I said, they're calling you protected ones. And I'm seeing this hierarchy here. And when I see a hierarchy, and when I say hierarchy, I don't mean hierarchy as in one group is better than others. I mean, no, I'm seeing concurrently, they're saying concurrently exchanging, interesting, but I was going to say concurrently existing energetic fields, energetic groups, subgroups. I don't want to go and say energetic planes because it's not necessarily that, but like you and me, like the regular peeps, right? We, in this day and age where everything is so mixed up and everything is so accessible, you just turn on your TV or YouTube or just whatever, and you're seeing things from around the world, from different parts of society, and you know, whatever the genre is, whether it's news or celebrity stuff or fashion or just, I don't know what people are watching these days, documentaries, but you make the mistake and think just because I'm peeking at it, I'm seeing it, that number one, I'm seeing the real thing. You're not. It's fully edited. That's just how it is. And on top of that editing that goes on literally in the editing room, it's curated. So nothing can make its way onto these channels, these networks that are not already okayed somewhere else. Even the most shocking and whatever, it's all okayed somewhere else. So if you're looking to educate yourself for reals, you may want to also seek some other types of reading and such like that, right? But so the point that I'm trying to make is you may have this idea that you share the same fate, number one, FATE, and that you share the same reality, that you share, and this is a big one, the same consciousness as these things, these people, these situations that you're seeing. And you have to understand that you do not. You barely share the same reality as some of your own family members. And that's the thing about it. A lot of people keep thinking as a collective in the wrong places and thinking as an individual in the wrong places. It's time to put things where they should be. So that's why I'm seeing here and very candidly how you should be thinking of the collective is like this. I'm an individual just like these people, and we are sharing the same or similar time-space reality where we're co-creating together, but I shouldn't for a minute believe that I'm existing, I'm having the same reality as this other person, even if they're my twin. You have to understand that even siblings do not share the same reality, because when they came into the world, they had a different parent. You know, the firstborn came when the parents had different personalities, they had different outlooks on life, then they gelled together. Then the next kid came and they found a different set of parents, because the parents had changed because of they got older and they had different circumstances, they had another child, all sorts of stuff. So you have to understand that you're an individual here, and what you do in your life and what you believe in your core beliefs is going to be what causes you to see your world in a certain way. And then on top of that, there literally are people lying to you in the media. And look, some of us teachers, if you know me, you know I used to teach, right? So we could not tell the students everything that was happening for test security, number one. Also to control the learning environment, right? All sorts of stuff. You don't know what goes down in those teaching lounges. Just like we don't know what goes on the playgrounds and the kids are talking smack, whatever, right? So you have to understand, you don't know what you think you know. And so your friendly local reader, God bless, super friendly, I always tell you, listen, don't be out here catching cases. And I'm talking karmic court cases. Don't be out here, getting karma because you're up somewhere upside someone's head because they said they like this person and you don't like this person. Now you don't want to buy at their shop because they blah blah blah. And that's all craziness. It's craziness over an arena. This is the different group, an arena that you have no idea what's going on at all, right? So just because, and I'll leave it at this, something is playing on your TV and is gathering a lot of views does not mean that it has anything energetically to do with you, except for you kind of reaching in there. From what I was getting, reaching in there with your interest, what you put your attention to, you connect to. So what I was getting is that, energetically speaking, people, like there are a whole bunch of people on this planet are being protected from a procession, is what they're saying, a procession that is currently occurring on this planet. And I'm getting that there are a lot of interdimensional players going on with that procession. And we're just seeing what we think we're seeing, but we don't know what's actually happening. And so we see in this Five of Swords cards here in this energy. And yes, if you watch the guides did drop a name without dropping a name. They did mention somebody's name that starts with a T. We're not going to mention it because, AI and algorithms and blah, blah, blah. But that whole stuff, all that stuff that you've been plugging into for, for how many years now? Listen, if you really knew what was going on, energetically speaking, with all these people, with the soul group that's included in there, and all of this, you would be like, oh, let me get myself out of that. I want nothing to do with that. I don't want the karma that has to do with that. I don't want to be duped into anything else. It's not just one person, it's all of them. Sometimes soul groups come down together to do stuff. Now you could be in the hallways of an elementary school and walking by and you look in that one classroom and everybody's doing all sorts of stuff, but you just keep going. You're all in the same school, but that's not your damn class. What are you doing? Then you walk into the class and you're like, hey guys, what are you doing? And now you're in trouble because you shouldn't have been in there in the first place. And this is what the guides are kind of saying. Learn how to tell the difference. Look at this cute little Page of Swords, super cute. She's so cute. She's up here at an elevated position. She's looking down. She knows her business. She knows her damn business. That's not her business. So she's just going to go back to doing what she needs to be. But meanwhile, here's this other person tapping into what's going on that she's seeing, and everybody's talking about it because they're not minding their business. Everyone's talking about it. All sorts of stuff is going on. And now she's crying and her central nervous system is going through stuff and she's not looking at it from an energetic standpoint. But the more she stays plugged into other people's karma and what's going on for them, And I'm talking at different levels of the field too. So she doesn't really know, karmically speaking, soul contractly speaking, I made that up, soul contractly speaking, what's happening. But she's plugging in like it's her own livelihood, and it's, you know, morning to noon, and all she's doing is plugging into the same craziness from different stations that purport to have different views, but they're all just coming from the same place, reaching different people to collect people. Don't be collected. This is what we're seeing here. You see this? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at these 4 swords. Here's the 5th one. Go ahead and be collected on one of those swords if you want to. Or mind your business. That's what the point is. Mind your business is what the guides are saying. All right? Oh, okay. All right. Death card wants to come here. I think it's pretty fitting that we see 3 cards. 1, 2, 3, 3 cards that spell an ending of something and a start of something new, all in the reverse. Now, I do want to point out that the Tower card in reverse was initially in this reading being, oh, thank you, I just heard the guides say reminded. They're showing me this, was brought out here to remind you what they said in the Moon and Libra reading, which is uploading, it'll be posted soon, right? They said, protected ones, you're protected. So go, it's like you're protected underneath this blanket. And it was such a sweet little, like, thick blanket of energy, of course, that when I started to do the reading, it just felt silent, like hushed, because you were all under there while this procession, these energies, these whatever is playing out, which the guides talk a little bit more in length about in the the Moon and Libra reading, while that was playing out. And they showed the Tower in reverse, showing you having the perception, just because you're feeling the energy being given off from this procession, right? But you're having the perception that you're being taken under, that you are about to be penalized, that you're being stalked, watched, whatever. There's a feeling of being watched, like a sense of malaise. And the guides were saying that has nothing to do with you. Your conscious mind is attaching that meaning because you're feeling it, because you're looking at this procession, you're tapping into the energies of it. And even if you're not paying attention to it, it's kind of rubbing up on your back. You can still feel it. And because some of you are not able to see energetically, at a certain level and check incoming energy, and because we're all still learning to discern what is ours and what is not, they're saying you're picking up malaise from something that has nothing to do with you. And the promise here that they're saying, thank you guys, that they're reminding you, is that you are protected. You are divinely protected. Right? And so look at this card, the Ten of Swords, is supposed to be about an ending to a major karmic cycle, and it's a painful ending, right? The Tower is supposed to be about something breaking down, deconstructing, of course to be rebuilt, right? But deconstructing in a very shocking way. And the Death card is, well, we know something dies in transitions. All 3 of these cards, they are in the reverse, and 2 of them are major arcana. So the point is, listen, things are not going to end the way you think they do, because you don't even know what's going on. Number one, you think you know because you watched a few news channels. You don't know. You're not going to know. It's not for your eyes. Not for your eyes at all, right? Think about it that way. So the next time you go to the barbershop, or you go to the supermarket, or you call your friend and you want to engage in the talking about, oh, well, he said this and that, just stop. Because now you're just wasting your energy, you're wasting your breath, you're taxing your central nervous system. It's a wrap, is what the guides are saying. These things, these energies have been around for a while, and they're not going anywhere. The stage may change, the stage design, but it's the same thing. I'm hearing the same cup of tea. Interesting. Here we have the Queen of Cups. So don't waste your breath. Don't waste your tears on it. And take that for what it is. And what you think it is probably what, yeah, I'm dancing around saying what I'm trying to say, and Three of Wands. Get out of there. Look at that. Yeah. Because it's like Shade City. The guides were talking about this, about these subgroups. You know, you're under the blanket, and then above it, it's like a masquerade is what they use. Like carnival. Like the night when all the beasts and all the beings come up, and they're wearing their masks and they're dancing around, and this is not your space. You know, this is not your space. It's not your space. See this shadow town here? Don't even be a part of it. Just get out of it. Because to be a part of that, you're literally plugging in. You're plugging yourself in. You're a radio tuner. And instead of tuning into the heart, which is what you're supposed to be doing, if you're trying to get into your divinity and take control of your life, you're tuning into something that has nothing to do with you and is sensationalizingly being played everywhere. It's a waste of your time. And look at how, I was just going to say, you're being warned about it. And look at how she's like, huh? Do not go in there. Because to go in there, to tap into that, is to literally lower your frequency. This is the Hierophant literally coming down like, to remind you. Look at this skull. Look at these skulls on fire. The Hierophant's like, hey, if you see any skulls around, just keep going. Here you are like, but I just want to see what happened in the proceedings today. Keep going. What are you doing? What are you doing? You can waste your time, but let me not waste my time anymore talking about this. Because let's really, right? Unless the guides want me to talk about it some more. God is good, right? Okay. Let's move on. Thank you. Don't forget what I said, guys. You know, your friendly local reader, you know, I'm out here. I'm just trying to help. God bless. You know. Over here. Thanks. I saw this card. Now let's talk about it, because in the month of April, the next thing that I'm picking up, I'm picking up on oranges, a fruit of oranges again. Part of me is like, is that a nod to ask for assistance from our ancestors, to, you know, because sometimes people put cute little oranges on their altars to, you know, as an offering and such. It could be, but maybe an orange also means something for somebody here. Just make sure this is still recording. You know, whenever I sit down and I'm just nervous, it's going to stop recording and I'll miss it. So the guides are saying, let's talk about this Four of Wands. I'm feeling a lot of fantasy coming through with the Four of Wands here. And of course, you know, I'm going to be like, twins, twin patrol, what's going on, right? The guides are watching you as you engage in fantasy this month. And see this here, the Two of Wands, it's the same person, but two heads, right? They're like, when is this person going to realize that they're the same person? Obviously, I'm definitely addressing those of you in the twin flame community, whether you are actually a part of a twin flame or whether you just think you are, but you totally aren't. God bless it. There, as they said in, I think it was the Moon and Leo reading, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if you really are or if you aren't. The point is, right now, what you need to be doing is focusing on yourself. And they're like, when they see you going off into fits of fantasy, they're gonna come in and be like, hey, remember, you know, the guides are like, hey, remember, it's just you, just you, just you, just you, just you. So let's talk about this. This is also referring to some of you who may be having some karmic flashbacks or karmic partners, something about karmic stuff that's intrusively getting into your thoughts. And this could also be like intrusive thoughts. This could also be like a limerence we talked about. This could also be like you having a fantasy, building a fantasy about meeting somebody, and this is how I'm going to meet him or her, and this is how it's going to, hey, stay with us, we're losing him, you know, like they want you to stay focused in the here or now, here or now. The here and now. You're like, no, I can't take both. I got to do here or now. You tell me what you want. You tell me. They're like, no, stop it. Not in a mean way, of course. They're just like giving you a tap. Hey, shaking you. Oh, sorry guys. I was off daydreaming again. Oh, I was sleeping again. I'm back, everybody. What was I doing? You were making noodles. Right. That's what I was doing. Right? So the guides are going to be keeping you on task, on tabs, on that's literally how they said it, keeping you on tabs, keeping you on tab, not keeping tabs on you, keeping you on tab. They're going to be watching you, thank you. All right, I didn't know whether to talk about that in the last meeting, but let's talk about it. They were just going to say they're going to keep on mining you, because I didn't want to mention this because I wasn't really sure, but the fact that they just said it, duh. A lot of you who get into this daydreamy, shout out to all my water people, daydreamy, fantasy, connecting with beings, he's my twin, she's my twin, this person's that. Again, some of you are having legits, right? Legits experiences. I would say most of you are not. And you have to be mindful because you're sometimes just engaging with some type of being. It could be an incubus or succubus. And before you start saying, but those aren't real, Jay, listen to your girl. I would not tell you that if it were not true. And if I'm telling you that, it means that I've overcome all of my fear of persecution and everything as like a major Libran energy, just wanting to hide in my room and not make anyone feel bad. I've overcome it enough to let you know, okay? I've been through school, I've got 2 master's degrees, taught people. I am completely sane when I tell you this, okay? I am of sound mind and body, and I'm not about the BS, so... So please trust me when I say some of you are just connecting to an incubus or a succubus or some other type of energy that is mining you for your loosh. Okay? I hate that word, by the way. That's mining you for the energy that you give off when you're in this state. What are the states of being? Longing, yearning, fantasizing, staying out of your body, being in a trance, right? Neptunian stuff. Now it's very important to really yes, work with these energies and to understand the power of these Neptunian energies, your creativity, being in the zone, whatever it is you want to say. But it has to have an end point. It has to be within reason. You don't just go off and now you're living your life like this. Trust me, I've done it for years and it's not good. It's not good. Okay? But you have to ground that stuff because unfortunately and this is what human beings are starting to learn. When you start to wake up, you start to realize, oh, I'm not alone. No, you're not alone in this room. No, you're not. And while you have the right to your privacy and to feel free in where you are, to do what you do and do you, we see you, right? You have to understand that the reality is that you're not alone. Even me, I'm sitting here and I'm empty in my room, like, hey, hello, who's there? Here, right? But I know that my guides are sitting right here. We're working together. And then, who knows what other beings are doing their thing. And I remember sometimes I would start doing these readings and then I would feel beings coming in and they'd be like having a seat to watch, right? Who are these people? I don't know. But my guides are working the crowds, guides. And then there are wandering spirits, and then there are little devas, and then there are God knows what. So the point is that of course there are also going to be beings that may take control over you by pulling you in to whatever fantasy. And so you have to understand, for those of you who are doing drugs and alcohol, and I'm not going to be this person be like, don't do that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be mindful that when you get out of a seat of control, you are allowing yourself to be vulnerable. Okay, there's a reason why falling asleep at the damn club is not a good idea, period. Physical or non-physical. Getting drunk and tipsy, whatever. Getting drunk and blackout drunk and all this and at the club, don't do it. That's already a low vibration place. I know, but you can't get drunk at the club. You can, but make sure that you're shielding up. A lot of people don't understand what's around. And so, as I always say, I just would be so curious to know how many people are serving time for things that they did under the influence of an energy that took hold. They're attachments, right? And so my point is, I'm not here to bust anyone's romantic bubble, because if you know me, if you know me, you know I am a hopeless, helpless romantic, and I've had to reel that in. Okay, I had to. I didn't want to, because it's just not good. Look. Look at this. How? Okay, Spirit is saying there's a time and there's a place. This ain't the time. If you're watching this video, whether you're on that journey or not, this isn't the time to get out of your body and to over fantasize. This is the time to get grounded, to focus on you, get your ish together, right? Look at this. Messages. Yeah? You have to be strong, because this is a time where people are being asked to stay the course. So let me ask you at this moment, look at this. Yeah, see, look at this deception. Look at this. Flowers, we got a ring, we got a happy rainbow, we've got letters, boom. We're out here, okay? I didn't just wake up and say, I'm just gonna make this up. No, okay. Here's my question to you, and this is just in general. What is it that gets you off your path? What is your brand of temptation? For some of you, ego. For some of you, pride, right? Some of you, vanity. It's going back to these things. What's in the box? I don't know, Brad. I don't know, but I think I do. But I'm gonna let you figure that out for yourself, right? So, what gets you? What's your price? And as I said in the Moon in Libra reading just earlier today, 26 minutes, 26 seconds, just earlier today, my guides, because I was like, guides, because I was thinking, oh, well, here I am, like, you know me, I'm always here to serve, like, let me do whatever, sure, whatever, just, I don't want to be unsafe, right? They're like, don't worry about it, Jay. These energies don't come for you on, like, it's not, people don't realize it's not in the media, like, you putting this out, no one's gonna come for you just because you're exposing these things, blah, blah, blah. They come for you in your vices. They come for you with your insecurities. And when I say they, I'm literally talking about beings that literally sit next to you and whisper stuff in your ear. So if you've been following my channel, you know that I've been channeling some longer messages. Whenever I get the tap on the shoulder, I'm like, okay, and I do it. But the first one I did, there was so much interference, just trying to get me off that path. 27 minutes, 27 seconds. Now, what did that look like for me? It looked like things like, oh, this is not right. You're misinterpreting it. Who are you? What are you doing? Don't you have something to do? Oh, no, you should probably get back to work. Oh, you're taking too long on this. Oh, all these things. And the thing is, if I have low self-worth, which I do, and I'm trying to work on it, God bless, Chiron and Taurus in the 9th house. So literally, in this work of spirituality and stuff is where I struggle a lot with the feeling of being able to bring these things out and whatnot. But if I am too much in my low self-worth, if I get too distracted, and there were things, they were like, oh, just daydream, because I'm also well, this might be a little bit TMI, but it's okay. I'm also a maladaptive daydreamer. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's a thing. It's not in the DSM yet, but let's just say it's a little habit I picked up from childhood. Long story for another lifetime, but long story short, my guides and I have been really working on it over the last, let's say, maybe since 14, and I'm 41 now. God bless, right? So just to show you, when I talk to you about daydreaming, and I'm a channel, when I talk to you about this stuff, I know what I'm talking about. And I finally got it together last month. And it was like last week, sorry, which was last month, okay. And it was like, I realized it. Why? Because of all the work I've been doing. And my guides were like, do you see? I was like, yes. Because I've often wondered, people who are maladaptive daydreamers, right? What is that? What is going on with that? And I'm just going to put it out there that which I kind of knew, but it's a habit. It's just, I'll leave it at that. But there are beings that will prey upon you. If you have major trauma, which a lot of people do, you are now vulnerable. We know this though. You're vulnerable to people in the physical. You got to be careful. You have to be mindful. You just have to relearn how to protect yourself and all of this. But the same goes in a non-physical. And it's even more insidious in a non-physical because you don't know about it, right? And then it's just, long story short. So for those of you with a lot of water placements, and those of you on the twin flame journey, and those of you who experience things like limerances, and if you have attachment issues, that is a great lead right into these kinds of things. Be mindful. So take control of yourself. Know yourself. And this goes for anyone in general, because when you know yourself, then you can understand more of your energy field, and you're better able to discern what is you and what is not. And even though I would love to daydream some more, because I will sit and do that sometimes for hours. How did I get through grad school? I don't know. It was like I needed it, but I didn't. And anyway, it's a long story, but whatever. But after a while, you start to really just have a different mindset, the structures. That's what's happening when you do your inner work. As you break down these things, as you change your perceptions, you're hacking away basically at these energetic structures that are in place. And when they fall away, so do your patterns of behavior, so does your way of seeing the world, so do your sentiments and these gut reactions, because they're no longer, those are just things that accumulated 31 minutes, 31 seconds, because you have these energetic structures in your field. But as they go away, they're no longer there. And so these habits, these major habits, these post-traumatic stress syndrome-y things fall away, because it's healing on the inside. And so healing happens. And with it comes an awareness. It's like, oh, that's what that is. Okay, boom. You can't see it before because you're so in there, and you have to do your inner work, right? So what Spirit is saying here in the month of April, for all of you, regardless of what you have going on, because everybody has some forms of delusion, some type of habit, they've got vices, they've got all sorts of stuff. That's what we're here for. We're healing. Look at her. She's like a teacher. She's a leader. Look at her. She's sitting here. She's like, She's like, yeah, She's like, yep. Get it, girl. Get it. And I looked at it. Look at the time. It was like 32 minutes, 23 seconds. That's 5 and 5. 3, 2. Oh, just I said 3, 2. It was like 32, 32. Wow, you see? Seeing a raccoon now, right? For some reason. But you see that 5? They're speaking to you, guys, okay? They're speaking to you right now. So when we say learn to be impenetrable, that means understand that your unhealed wounds, your fragmentation, your trauma, your this and that, left untreated, leaves you open to non-physical attachments. It leaves you open to psychic attack. It leaves you open to even your friends and family, is gaslighting you, all this stuff. It's just, so you have to know yourself. You've got to work on yourself. And when you start escaping, whether it's through drugs, alcohol, daydreaming, shopping, YouTube, watching MSNBC and Fox and all this stuff, it's the same damn thing. The guides are going to come and be like, hey, stop it. They're literally going to be like that. Okay, so that's what's happening in the month of April, is what I'm seeing. So in other words, this seems like, if you look at this, you got to pay attention. And I was going to say, this looks like it's going to be a month of traps. Whether it's temptation, distraction. So distraction is another way that interference is. I'm not even like what's under here? Look at this. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Distractions. Don't get distracted. Do not get distracted. Now the Mother Mary energy came through during the moon in Libra reading. And the same disclaimer that I said in there is, if you have religious trauma, you're going to get they're saying fragmentation because of religious trauma. Yep, religious programming from other lifetimes, from this lifetime in your field. You're going to have a trigger when I say stuff like Mother Mary or Buddha or whatever, or whatever. There's so many different messengers, so many different ideas. That's your clue to disconnect from the form. Don't think about what the form is. Don't think about the name. Just think about the function. So the energy that came through as Divine Mother nurturing energy, if it makes you feel better to say someone else like Guan Yin or Lady Tara or just nobody or your own mother or your grandma, it doesn't matter. Get out of the form. It's semantics, right? That energy came through in the Moon in Libra reading to remind you that, and not to remind you because they were telling you in that movie, oh my God, what? In that movie, what? Okay, where are we at right now? But okay, now that means something, but I don't know yet. They were telling you in that reading that we just did, that I was just talking about, they were informing you that you are protected under a sheet of energy, a blanket of energy. And what are you being protected from? Like I said, the procession of energies that have nothing to do with you. Okay? Number one, has nothing to do with you. Number one. Don't get it twisted. You're seeing it on TV. It has nothing to do with you. Number one. Number two, solar flares, energies were coming. Number three, Mars is in Cancer right now. Everyone's in their feelings. But even that, it's more just there are other things going on that you're not seeing. Spirit is protecting you from, is what they're saying. And so I'm so curious, because I know a lot of you who watch my videos, thank you, you're the one. I heard about somebody watching, but I don't know, right? But a lot of you are channels, a lot of you are very sensitive, you're empathic, you read incoming energy, you get messages, you do this, you do that, you pick up on these things. And I'm just curious to see if you also have been receiving some of these, I want to say energies, but the guides are saying warnings, okay? Now, yeah, they said to remind you, now it's reminding me, because it's the second video, I did the other one before, but they're reminding you that there are beings, forces that came in with the mother energy, right? I said Mother Mary because that's how it is for me. That's how it appeared to me. But the mother energy, she was coming through. Oh yeah. They're like, show them the card. Okay, my bad. Hold on. Thank you. Now this card is a form, meaning it's a manifestation of an energy. So you know how we do. We don't get attached to forms, but we do look at the function. This is representing the energy that was coming in. And she was saying that she has her soldiers about. So while you're blanketed underneath this blanket for divine protection, you're encouraged to focus on your everyday life. Focus on your life. Where can you make improvements for your health and well-being? How could you be kind to others? Where can you show compassion? Things like that. And whatever's happening on top of that blanket, the procession, all the other energies hitting that are not for you, if the energies are coming in for you, they'll be directed to you, right? Because that's just how it works. But all the other stuff is being kept out, is what they're saying. And she was saying that her soldiers, they look like divine, angelics or just whatever form. Don't get stuck on the form. But they're watching, they're standing up top there, watching as these processions, these beings, these whatever they are having their thing go on, right? So you're totally fine. The only reason they're even informing us about these things is not about fear or anything, but so you can take control of the situation, because I'm getting that it's going to be for another 4 days, whatever this energy is, these beings, this procession that's going on in a different, it's in the same space but in a different group. Anyway, leave it at that. It's like, let them have their play out their karma. They let them play out their stuff is kind of what I'm getting. It has nothing to do with you. So if you tap into that, and you're just going to get mined. You're just going to be taken for the energy that you have. You come home from a long day, now you tap into this stuff, you're reading about it, you're talking about it, you're sleeping on it. It's like, just get out of it. And because otherwise you're just wasting your energy, you're wasting your time. And some people are picking up karma along the way because now they're commenting on it and hurting other people and this and that because of these things. But the guides are saying that so there are divine forces, I don't know, they feel like protection, security detail that are around to make sure that you, the people who are underneath this, I don't know who is, are not disturbed. They're just like, okay, you do what you're doing. Our people are here. Our people are here, and they need to focus on whatever they're doing. But that's why they're coming through to tell you to focus on what you're doing, because some of you may be feeling antsy, you may be feeling stressed, you may be feeling pressure, and you may actually be feeling like this sense of incrimination. So maybe the example that they gave in the last video was like, oh, if you're talking to your coworker and you're like, dude, internal affairs is here this week, did you see? Yeah, they've been here for the last 3 days. They're just holed up in the boss's room and they're just talking, and I bet they're looking at all of us. And I mean, I know I took those pens and my bad, and and I took Swiss Miss hot chocolate home for like the holidays, and I'm sorry, I took a whole box. Like I didn't think anyone would miss it. Everyone's out here spilling their crimes, right? Because they think that they are being under surveillance. They think they're going to get pinched. They think they're going to. So a lot of you may be feeling watched. You may be feeling very sensitive in the workplace or in the family space. You may blow up at a family member like, dude, why are you like watching me? Why are you like monitoring? The guys, like, get over yourself. I don't care what you're doing, right? Because you're feeling energetically that energy that has nothing to do with you, but is coming into your space. So spirit is just coming through to say, hey, relax. You're good. It's not you. So please, over the next 4 days, watch to see how you care for yourself. And I would say over the month in general, watch to see how you speak to yourself. 41 minutes, 41 seconds. Are you kind to yourself? Are you showing self-care? Are you loving yourself? Because obviously a lot of you are perceiving yourself, and myself included, because I'm always thinking I'm doing something wrong, but that's just past lifetime stuff, and I know it, and this lifetime stuff, and I know it, but geez, right? But Spirit is saying, even if you are doing something wrong, even if you did take the Swiss Miss hot chocolate, even if you did pilfer this, they're saying they're not looking at you, so you're going to be fine. Maybe at another day you'll be noted, but this is not you this time, okay? Guides are saying, phew, okay, phew. So, again, the only reason why it's being brought to your attention is so that you can rest assured that it's not about you. So if you're feeling a certain type of way, don't. Oh my God, so funny. Okay. All right. What else? What else is going on for the month of April? Whoopsies. Whoopsie doodles. Okay. They're also saying to watch out for false prophets. Interesting. Watch out for false prophets and watch out for false prophecies. Okay? Remember, people can't divine, like people, I mean, I know, yeah, whatever, right? But I would be very mindful if you come across somebody who is saying they're seeing the future. At best, people can see a future timeline. That's what we're doing. Tapping into the energy as it lays right now. Looking at the energy, 43 minutes, 43 seconds, as it lays right now. And seeing what the most potent timelines are, and then taking into consideration what decision you seem most inclined to take. But please remember at all times, you are in charge of your fate. You are in charge of your fate. So we're living in a time with the age of Aquarius. It's just going to get even more, I don't know. You really need discernment, is what the guides are saying. And the guides have been saying that for a long time. Make sure that you move towards people who demonstrate, number one, the ability to be in the heart space. And I'm not talking about people who say they are, or they're running a foundation, or they're collecting things for the neighborhood kids, but meanwhile they're horrible to other people at home, or they're horrible in the streets to the waiters and the waitresses. You have to watch that. That's the discernment. And the way that you can get into that level of discernment is to start to cultivate that for yourself. So wherever you notice that you could use more compassion in your day towards other people, more empathy towards other people, learning to be more kind towards other people, where you feel that you can use improvement in seeing what other people are going through and really trying to ease their way. If you notice that that's something you can use work in, then pray about it and get working on it, right? Get working on it, because when you, and also towards yourself, right? Because when you activate and cultivate that part of you, your heart becomes very active, and it's happy, because it's like, dude, now we back online. This is what I do. And finally I'm active again. And it's a practice. You practice compassion, you practice kindness, you practice empathy. You don't have to be perfect all the time. No one is, I mean, no one is. I got stories, but it would behoove you to practice it, to be aware of how you show up in the world and really do your best to move forward. Because once you do that, you raise the vibration of your energetic field, and you call towards you people who are also doing that. And on top of that, the gift is you can then discern when someone's being real or not. Because when you activate this divine heart, it informs your divine mind. It's the filter through which your mind operates now. And so you can easily see someone's talking about stuff, but they're not being about it. And that's what the guides are saying. Watch for the false prophets like that. Watch for people who are not in their heart space. This is different from people who fall off the bandwagon, or who aren't in their heart space because the trauma and blah blah blah, but they want to be, and they're trying to be, and they this is the difference. Please understand. And if you can't tell the difference, welcome to Earth. That's why we're working on it. This is discernment. But in order to do that, you work on your inner stuff, you own your projections, so you can see what you're doing, what you're bringing to this table. And you get into your heart space, you make good works, you make good efforts, so that you can identify others who are along this field. If you are in that heart space, even if you, from a conscious mind perspective, can't discern that that person is not being in their heart, you're going to feel uneasy around them. You're going to not trust them in some way. There's something that's going to feel off about them. Why? Because the heart is telling you. But right now, a lot of you, the hearts are closed, and it's understandable. A lot of us, right? Our hearts are closed because of trauma, because of conditioning, because we see certain things to be normal. And that's not that may be normal on this earth, but it doesn't make it of a high vibration. And when you're in that low, you're going to miss this all the time. And you're going to follow the wrong things. You're going to allow innovation and technology to take you down a dark path. There's nothing wrong with having technology and innovation, right? But it's going to take you down a wrong path instead of taking you down a path where it's put into perspective with nature, right? So you have to be mindful. So be heartful so you can be mindful. And when you have the third part of that, which is divine intention, that's when you are having the intention to align with divine will. Then you've got it all: divine heart, divine mind, and divine will. Those three will take you anywhere you need to go, and they will show you what's real and what's not real, and they will help you to put into perspective what should be followed and what should not be followed, for the effects that those two paths will have when it comes to things like innovations in tech, innovations in spirituality, innovations in how we deal with exopolitics, working with our galactic cousins off planet. They've been here, if you want to wait until your government, wherever you're watching, introduces you to the galactic community, go ahead and do that. But I'm just going to tell you, you're not going to get the real deal. Instead, get into the heart space so you can think and feel for yourself. Learn to be kind, compassionate, and empathetic to the people in your life. Learn to disconnect from certain media and things like that may be entertaining, but at what cost? What you're doing in certain things is you are just selling yourself energetically to these things, right? And you may not understand what that means at that time because you don't see. If some of you had more clairvoyance, you would see what's happening. You may walk in, you may start watching a TV show, and you're after like 30 minutes, you're like, what is all this? Are these cobwebs? And then you realize, no, these are energies pulling that are coming straight at you and now holding you there to watch that technology. But what you're doing is you're having a good time. You're enjoying it. And that's fine. Okay, great. It's entertainment. But when you're done watching all these things, getting off the internet, all of that, even after watching this, even during watching this, after, before, whatever, go ahead and do your clearing, spiritual hygiene. It's very important. Do I do it all the time? No. And I be watching things, right? But listen, I'm just the messenger, and I'm taking notes too because I have to learn too. And first of all, we don't have to do anything, but it would behoove you 50 minutes, 50 seconds to get it together, right? For whose benefit? Yours. Empress, okay? For whose benefit? Yours. What is this? Card here. King of Wands. Boom. There we are. Oh, what's that? The Tower, yup. Bring it down. You have to be wise. 51 minutes, 11 seconds. That's what it means to be wise. What it means to be impenetrable. And look at this victory here. Being wise and being impenetrable is very, very simple a concept. It just means I know who I am. I know what my projections are, so I see them and I own them. And through that seeing and ownership and self-love and self-care and self-acceptance, I'm able to discern in others when they are being authentic and when they're not. My heart is active, so I can see in others when their heart is not active. And that's it. Then it's just a practice to be that, to cultivate it, to stay in alignment. When you stay in alignment with your higher self, I mean, what harm can come to you? And it's also, the impenetrable part is pretty much knowing that people don't make you do anything. Yeah, someone may have a gun to your head, but I will tell you this. There are people who said, hey, shoot me. I know where I'm going is better than here anyway. I'd rather, what did I say? Die on my feet than live on my knees. Go ahead. And then boom, they're done. And they're like, okay, well, I'll see you next lifetime. And then true to form, next lifetime it comes back around in some way, and karma takes its cake and whatever. So there's always a choice. No one's saying the choices are easy. But sometimes the choice is, do I want to continue to participate in this activity, whatever this is? Do I want to continue to plug into this energy, whatever it is? So learn to distinguish the energy from the form. We fall in love with form, but our energy fields hunger for the energy behind that form. If you have a feeling that you have a void, if you have abandonment issues, everybody, right, hello, if you have abandonment issues and you are not aware of that, or you are aware of it and you still haven't healed it, guess what? You're going to be triggered, and your energy field is going to hunger to hold on to something. And so guess what? You're going to attract people who are going to abandon you, because the universe isn't like, oh, you want to hold on to something? Here you go. No, the universe hears, I'm going to be abandoned. I'm going to be abandoned. You're like, okay, one abandonment coming up. Oh, two abandonments coming up. That's all they hear. So you get the person or the situation, and you, instead of noticing that you've attracted an energetic match to your low self-worth, you're falling in love with the form, and his name's Dylan, and he's cute, and maybe his FICO score is looking good. Maybe he drops a little ends on you, right? And now, because you've fallen in love with the form, but you're suffering because this man is just not into you like that. But you're suffering because you don't realize that this is your own wound coming back to you. And you've fallen in love with the form. So when spirit is like, yo, it's pruning season, what are you on? Let's go. You're like, but Dylan, no, forget Dylan. Dylan is nobody. 54 minutes, 44 seconds. And I'm so sorry if your name's Dylan and you're watching. I'm sorry. I don't mean you. I don't mean you. But you know what I mean. Okay? So sometimes you have to say goodbye to the form, because the form is just a mask that the energy is wearing. You want to tap into the energy, and you may be like, but I don't want that, Jay. No, you don't, but a part of you does. And it's so strong that it's pulling it in. You at the conscious level, yeah, you don't want some cheating person in your life. You don't want someone to steal your money. You don't want, yeah, duh, because who wants that? But on some level, you're getting exactly what you want, because you think you don't deserve to have your money to yourself. You've been conditioned to give all your stuff away. You have some victim consciousness. You're on that martyr bent. So you're like, oh, everyone just takes everything. Just take it. And so guess what? You're going to pull that in. That the longer you live in this space where you're out here acting like you don't know that you're doing that, you may know that it's coming from inside of you, but you may not know where it is, and we respect that. Just get on the journey to understand it. Know yourself, because when you know yourself, then you know something's going on in you that is pulling these things in, and then you get out of the blame game, because you know it's about you. Just because you haven't found out what inside of you is active doesn't mean it's not you. And once you stop blaming other people, you're taking a massive step towards getting out of victim consciousness. And when you start to take responsibility, you take a massive step out of martyr complex and about making other people feel a certain type of way so you could feel, no, what you need is comfort. If what you need is comfort, then ask for comfort. Don't take your emotional needs and your need for comfort and then make it about other people and this and that, and I'm storming off, and this is ridiculous, right? And so if you're sitting here, and you're in that vibe, right? That means there's a part of you, maybe you don't even know you're in that vibe. There's a part of you that is active. So when you go on TV and you want to tune in to these characters that are doing the same thing, whether or not you like that character, sometimes you may be like, oh my God, I hate so-and-so. She's such a whiny little, why didn't she just realize that what she needs is to take responsibility for her life? And everyone's like, I know, without realizing there's a reason why you are vibing with that character, so much so that you don't like them, right? Because there is a vibrational match. So anyway, long story short, have fun, but practice proper spiritual hygiene. Work on yourself so that you can break down these energetic structures on the inside. Because when we go into your field, the guides and I, God bless, when we're in your field and we're just loving you and stuff, we're, making changes to the templates and the energy structures. But the thing is that's why flow is restored. But if you don't put good things into good practices into place and change your perception, you're just gonna build it right back up again. Well, speaking of, look at that. Yeah, the guides working together, getting into your field and breaking things down. But if you don't clean it up for yourself and change the perceptions, guess what you're still going to be doing? You're going to be building and building and building back again. And now you're meeting Killian instead of Dylan. Oh, yeah, my name's Killian. I'm sorry, did you say Dylan? No, Killian. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you said, no, you heard what you heard. That was the universe saying this is the same person you're dating because you're being the same way. So anyway, long story short, in the month of April, a lot's going to be going on. Not all of it has anything to do with you, but you will be feeling those vibes. what Spirit would like you to do instead is to acknowledge how you're feeling. What are you doing to yourself as you feel these things? If you're feeling incriminated, how are you treating yourself? Are you exercising self-care? Are you practicing self-acceptance? It's always great to realize later, oh my God, phew, I'm off the hook. You know, it wasn't about me. And yeah, true to form, like a few days later, and you and your coworker, you just see like the boss being handcuffed and walked out the building. You're like, oh my gosh, I thought it was about us. They didn't find out that I took the Swiss Miss. And now I must kill you because I told you that. Yeah, I took the Swiss Miss. And then everyone's relaxed because they realize, oh my God, it wasn't me. I thought I was getting in trouble. I thought I was being fired because they canceled my meeting and my card didn't work to get in and everyone's like, it wasn't about you. But the learning lesson, as Mother Mary wants us to know, is what did you do with that energy when you thought it was about you? When all that was going on, did you love yourself? Did you love others? Or did you go nuts? Shout out to those of you tweeting about certain things. And it's okay to share opinions, but don't lose yourself in hurting other people, lashing out at other people, basically being a bully because you have an idea. All right, I'm just saying, your friendly local reader. I'm just out here just trying to help you not pick up extra karma because you thought you had a thought and now you're saying mean things on other people's. No, it's just, oh my God, it's just feeding off the energy that you have. Things literally feed off of that. Waste your time on things that don't have anything to do with you, and then you hurt other people and you say and do things that you would never say if they were in your living room, or if they were a friend of your child. You wouldn't treat them that way. But yet here you are. And we see this similar dynamic with road rage. Raise your hand, you know it. Where it's like, you know, you're all in a huff and a puff and you're angry and you're showing yourself and you're having road rage on the road. But you wouldn't dare be like that with that person. God forbid they get off the same exit as you and make the same right as you. Now you're like, oh crap, are they going to the same supermarket as me, or are they just following to kill me? And suddenly all that energy goes out the drain. I'm just saying, have that energy for when they're in person, okay? If you can't match that energy, then you have no business doing that. This is not to say that you can't have emotions. Have emotions, you should feel it. This is what you're here for. But what you do with it is very important, right? And again, we're not always going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. And when you find yourself acting out and hurting others and hurting yourself, what do you do in that moment? I would suggest you go straight into self-love mode. Like, oh my gosh, I did this. Of course I did it because I had this feeling. And talk it out, feel it out. Give yourself the reason why you did it. Do it. Some of you guys are doing it on a regular. What? I was trying to go with did it and I heard do it. Give yourself a reason why you've done it. So let's just make a nice little medium way. You have done it. And forgive yourself and give yourself the grace, and then make a commitment to doing better next time. So actively think, what could I have done differently? And then let it go. And then the next time, because you know there's going to be a next time, the next time you stop and you make an effort to change your behavior. Interrupt the pattern. That's why there's so much power in consciousness. And Spirit loves when we become conscious, because then they're like, oh, they're awake. We're going to send them all these messages, right? But they know they have to combat with all the stuff that you have already in your mind that you think you're seeing is not real. And they're like, well, we're going to send them 8 messages and they're going to interpret 6 of them, miss one, and just hopefully get half of one of those that they sent. And this is just the world as it is. And we're just doing our best. God is good. And so are you, right? So we'll take one more card for you. They're so funny. I'm just hearing, when am I going to meet a man? Oh my gosh, I don't know. 5 of Cups. When you get over your grief. Okay? But what I'm seeing, I like this card in a sense, is because you're no longer looking at the moon. She's not looking at the moon, meaning she's not escaping from her feelings. She's feeling the feels, right? But now the goal is to find it within yourself, to take a step onto the embankment and get out of the field. They're saying field, the energy field. Some of you are in a field of energy that's kind of threatening to pull you down. You see this? Look at this guy. Who is this? Right? Or what is it? I don't know. Maybe it's just a random arm and no body. Right? Who knows? But the point is, it could even be your own energetic field. Some of you may have just gone through a breakup, but you still have pictures, and that's for reals over, but you still have pictures and mementos around your room and your house. So you're literally succumbing each day to the energies in that space because those reminders are there. So now you have to have the strength to find a reason to keep going. See these two cute little couplets, cute. They're on the bank. She has to first of all see them and then make her way to them. But look how Spirit has given her a cute little shawl, and in the shawl there are these cute little stitches. They kind of look like these cups. Spirit is like, remember. And then, maybe hopefully she'll get the energy from there, and she looks so cute, and then she gets on here and she sees, oh my God, these two cups. And then she'll be like, oh my God, the design looks just like my shawl. Wow. Yeah, and now you're in alignment, right? So Spirit is saying, get out of the grief, and then we can start, look who there it is. Get out of the grief, and then we can start making magic. What's this card? I love this. 3 of Cups. Aren't they the cutest? I almost said, aren't they the cutest little bunny rabbits? Cute. That's a little bit of a nod to the year of the rabbit. I don't actually know what it is. I didn't look it up, what it's about, but I would invite you to take a look and see how that is. Look, they're drawing a parallel now. Beautiful. Aww, cute. Queen of Cups. Ta. Oh my God, stop it. White, green, red. White, green, pink, red. There you go. Thank you, guys. Oh, and they love you. We'll just put you there so you can get snuggles. Okay. And 3 of Cups. God bless. All right. Anyway. Thank you so much for listening. You guys know exactly where to find me and my spirit team. God bless. So we're just going to say bye to you and your spirit teams because they watched you watch this video. They watched me make this video, and so did you because I felt your energy. And then here you are watching it. So bye.